Hey guys, Chris here from Velocity RC. We're going to go through some quick build tips for the VT64 Truggy conversion kit, which is a conversion kit put out by Velocity RC that turns the Team Associated B64 into a mini Truggy, 10-scale Truggy that people are running indoors and outdoors this spring. All right guys, so let's run through a few of the parts on the VT64 conversion. So one of the things that we've seen a lot of questions on is, what do I do with my buggy shocks? So the first thing you're going to do once you get your kit is you're actually going to disassemble your front buggy shocks, and you're going to use these shock bodies and shock shafts that are included in the kit, and you're going to reassemble them, and those are going to be your new rear shocks. Your original rear shocks from your buggy are going to move up here to the front of the truck. As far as shocks go, we've been doing a lot of testing as far as shock packages and things like that. So far, what we found that we really like on medium high grip surfaces is we run either a Associated V1 buggy yellow front spring or blue V1 buggy front spring, and then most of the time, most of the guys are running these V1 green rear springs as well. We haven't really strayed too far away from the greens, and we've stayed in that window. If anything, some of the guys are trying whites, but they go back to the greens pretty quickly. So now we're going to talk about a few things on the front of the truck. We've used Techno front arms on the truck that had to be modified to fit correctly. And then we've also had to space out the front shocks to get the correct shock angle so that there was no binding in the front end. Whenever you're building the Truggy kit for the first time, you'll notice that the arms drop right in and there's no shimming needed there. Sometimes there may be a little bit of hand fitting needed, but not much. When we get to the outside down here, you'll notice that you put shims on the front of it, and we provide you with two 2mm shims or one 4mm shim, depending on the kit, to space the hubs back where you need them to be. The front shock tower is a piece that we've designed and included in the kit. We also include a Techno front bar set, which you would use on this. So you actually use the Techno linkage on this, and then you either use the 3-dot or the 4-dot bar, depending on what you would like your handling characteristics to be. So if you want a car that's a little bit more aggressive, you'll run the 3-dot on the front and the 4-dot on the rear. If you want a car that's a little bit more safe, more planted, lets you push the car a little bit harder, you run the 4-dot on the front and the 3-dot on the rear. As far as setup stuff on the front, as we mentioned just now, we like the 3-bar, the 4-bar on the front. We are running generally like a 1/6, 2-hole 1/6 or a 2-hole 1/5 piston in the front with anywhere from 32.5 to 37.5 oil, and again the yellow or blue springs. And then in the diffs in the front, we're looking at between 15 and 20K is what a lot of our guys are liking so far. Really with those types of settings, you're going to be pretty close to in the ballpark. The center of the truck really sees no changes from the B64 itself. Just a few notes that we would like to point out is, one, with the truck and the big tires, there's quite a bit of torque going through the drivetrain. So make sure these 4 screws are tight at all times to reduce the flex and help keep teeth on that spur gear. Speaking of the spur gear, we really like to run the Team Associated pinions. It seems like their pitch really matches up with the spur gear quite a bit better and leads to longer life. In addition to that, the width of the tooth is the same width as that of the spur gear. So if you are going to use a different pinion, please be sure to line up both the depth of the tooth and also line it up width-wise to get as much surface contact as possible. As far as the diff settings here, we do run 100K. That really calms the car down. Most of our guys on indoor tracks are running 200K in the center diff. So now we come to the back of the truck. Quite a few Team Associated parts are included here in the back. T6 rear arms, CVAs, turnbuckles, etc. We actually use the linkage from the B64, and then we use the Techno rear sway bar. So again, you're going to use that 3-dot or 4-dot that we mentioned earlier in the video. We use the B64 rear wing mount and body mount. You can see that this body mount has actually been ground off, just a little thing that some of our guys are doing, and then they Velcro on each side, and then that leaves the little nub here. If you are going to leave the nub for the body pin, we do recommend that you slot that hole slightly to allow for the flex and not to break the body there. When building the rear of the truck, It's pretty straightforward. You're going to build the arms and everything drop straight in, the hubs go straight in. In the back of the car, we are running anywhere from 10,000 to 20,000 diff fluid depending on track surface, grip, and driver preference. Thanks for checking out RC Alley and going through the Velocity VT64 build tips on our mini Truggy conversion kit. If you have any questions, be sure to check out the link to the Facebook page below where you can hit up myself or Rod with any build, sales, or setup questions that you might have on the Truggy. Huge shout out and a thank you to Vanya from RC Alley for having us on the channel again. Be sure to like and subscribe and send him some comments here under the video.